Hello and what's up, political peeps? Good morning, and we finally made it. Happy Election Day in the United States of America. So today I'm here to just break down and kind of give you a 15-minute quick prediction slash breakdown of the different ways that this presidential election could go. So first, let's check out, which I've checked out with you guys in a live stream before, the 2024 consensus. So this is as of yesterday, the consensus map. And as you can see, Iowa has been in the news lately. It's been a big deal because our swing states since the beginning of the race have been Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Nevada, and Arizona. But now we're getting new information. Arizona, we're thinking is going to go red, and we're thinking Iowa could possibly go blue. We're seeing that I believe it's 47% of people in Iowa are going Donald Trump. The remainder thinking Kamala Harris. So it's looking like Iowa's 6 electoral votes will go blue, and definitely looking like Arizona will go red. So I think Arizona we're taking off the swing state I guess situation, but Iowa, in my opinion, is becoming a swing state. Now, in terms of the likelihood to win, essentially, I think Trump's going to take Georgia. He took North Carolina in 2020, and I know that had a lot to do with the Democrat governor in 2020. But North Carolina will most likely go red. Then, assuming Nevada goes blue because of its proximity to California, and given that it's pretty sparsely populated, the Rust Belt that are swing states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, are looking to be the ones that are the most crucial. So at this point, since Arizona would go red, um, Michigan and Wisconsin, polling has shown that they could be inclined to go blue. But regardless, if President Trump takes Pennsylvania, the race is over. You know what I mean? So, in terms of when will we find out, the projection that comes on CNN, they're like, and we can project that the winner of the president, that you know what I mean. So that will we will probably be getting, since polls close, the last Eastern time New York time polls close at 9 p.m. New York time this evening. So our last we would know Pennsylvania results probably by 9:30 p.m. And in my opinion, Pennsylvania is the most crucial in terms of what the presidential race will turn out as, because Wisconsin and Michigan together can't save the Democrats if they're losing Arizona. You know what I mean? So this is I've been looking at this AP News situation, and you can see that electoral votes, we've already gotten, I guess, 6 votes from New Hampshire, but no other votes have really started to pour in, even throughout the East, because polls, it's 11:10 a.m. at the time of this recording, Eastern time. So polls, some polls haven't even opened out in Hawaii and California. So that's why that's why we are still waiting on to see more in the West. But at the same time, if you look at this map, the West doesn't mean that much, because what do we have in that time zone? Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada. What do those really mean? So if come over here, we can kind of break down what we're going to be seeing. We know Washington's going to go blue, Oregon's going to go blue, California's going to go blue. I believe that Nevada's going to go blue, but let's leave it as a toss up for now. Then President Trump's going to take Montana, Idaho. Most likely, he's going to take Wyoming, and then he's going to take Nebraska at large, definitely, and then he can take Nebraska, but Nebraska's first and third district, but Nebraska number 2 is definitely a swing. And I know you may be like, oh, it's one vote, but we could be getting to a 269 points. This is an extremely contentious race. So that one vote may not mean anything, but definitely could mean something. So zooming Utah and Arizona, and then Kansas, Kansas and Oklahoma. People have mentioned, oh my God, Texas is going to go blue. It's not going to go blue this year. Texas is not going to go blue this year, and I can say that pretty confidently. For the first time, I'm leaving Iowa swing because I'm honestly not sure about Iowa. Now the Southeast, we say Georgia's a swing state, right? I don't think Georgia's a swing state. Georgia is a swing state. Excuse me, but I think Georgia's gonna go red this year. But to be safe, I'll leave it as a toss up. North Carolina, I believe, is gonna go red. Tennessee as well, red, and then Kentucky, um, West Virginia, Indiana, and Ohio will go red, and then Pennsylvania is, like I said, that infinity stone. Like much of the race is going to be determined by Pennsylvania, the way Pennsylvania goes, and I honestly think it's possible for President Trump to take Pennsylvania because of how much Pennsylvania like means to him, given that he was shot in Pennsylvania, etc. And then looking blue, we can pretty much we know that Minnesota is going to go blue. Wisconsin, Michigan, we are not quite sure. Illinois will go blue, um, and then Virginia. And then of course we have the blue wall, which I can fill in. Um, the blue wall, excuse me, Rhode Island, yeah, and then Maine. What I think will happen is the split votes for Maine. And by the way, if you think about it, this is a totally like sidetrack, but Maine and Nebraska are like the most democratic states because ultimately this electoral college system that we have is not the most democratic, but Maine and Nebraska following the split vote system, meaning that there's two of their votes from the senators go to the at large, and then there's one vote per congressional district, which kind of makes sense because it's one vote per population, and then the overall for the senators who serve overall. So that actually makes a lot of sense, and probably it's the most democratic way that any state um, picks the way to allocate their electoral votes. So I do think that Maine at large is going to go blue. Maine one district, much more densely populated, is going to go blue. Maine second though, um, Maine second district could go Republican, could go red. 1 second. And Maine 2 could go Republican. Maine 1, though, I believe, Maine 1 and Maine at large are going to go Democrat most likely. And then we have the typicals: New York, Connecticut, my home state. Then South Carolina, I know it's going to go red this year. And then Colorado and New Mexico are both Democratic states, and then Hawaii will most likely go blue as well. Pretty liberal out there. So this is, I think, the most crucial swing states on an updated fashion. We have Georgia, which I do think will go Republican, but I'm not going to put it red. I'm not as confident as North Carolina, for example. Pennsylvania is the main determiner of this race. Michigan and Wisconsin, the Democrats will mostly take Michigan and Wisconsin, those 25 votes. But still, if they're not winning Arizona on top of that, which they won't at this point, we got numbers in yesterday that Arizona's most likely going to go Republican. It's going to be hard for them to leverage Wisconsin, Michigan. Now, on the other hand, if they are taking Iowa on top of that, and then Nebraska 1, I think will go Democrat, but it is up in the air. So let's quickly simulate this. If they take Michigan, Wisconsin, which I think they'll take, it's somewhat likely that they'll be able to take Iowa and Nebraska 1 plus Nevada. Still, that doesn't bring them over. And assuming my prediction is correct about Pennsylvania and Georgia, it's 273, 263, and the race is won. And do you see how close this margin has? How extremely close? What is the one toss up I'm missing? Am I missing? Oh, I'm missing Nebraska at large. Yeah, Nebraska at large is going to go Republican most likely. Yeah, most likely Nebraska at large is going to go Republican. That's going to bring it 275, 263. But now, if we take a step back, I'm just going to show you guys how crucial Pennsylvania is. So, assuming that North Carolina, of course, stays Republican, in this scenario. And then we have Nevada and Iowa, Michigan, Wisconsin. Um, those are swing states. Nebraska 1. Um, Nebraska 1 as a swing state. Pennsylvania, and then Nevada, of course, is the swing state. And then Maine, I'm still under the assumption that Maine overall, and then Maine 01 is going to go blue. Um, Maine 2 will go red, and then if you check this out and give the Democrats Pennsylvania, give Kamala Harris Pennsylvania, and then she still takes um, her Nevada without even the help of Iowa. Even if the Republicans take Iowa, if Kamala Harris takes Pennsylvania, she will win the race. So ultimately, this is a race that can't be won without Pennsylvania unless something extremely drastic happens, like a blue wall or like some huge blue state or red state will go blue or vice versa. So it is a extremely contentious race, but largely up to one state in the East. And that's why I believe we'll be getting our polling numbers in and we'll find out, we'll have a very good idea of who the next president of the United States will be pretty early because of Pennsylvania's eastern nature, and that we'll know Pennsylvania polls by 9:30 p.m. New York time. So, one more thing I want to mention. A lot of people don't know, but electors in the Electoral College don't have to vote with their state. So, if the state votes, if the state majority is Kamala Harris, one of the electors can still vote for Donald Trump, or all of the electors can still vote for Donald Trump. This is called a faithless elector. And we haven't had a faithless elector since 2016. I think there was a couple from Texas, Wisconsin, Washington, and Oregon. But it's definitely possible that in a race as contentious as this one, we could be seeing a faithless elector. So, um, happy election day. Thank you so much for watching. And I really hope that this kind of 15-minute comprehensive guide was really helpful. And I know that news networks will be covering this much more in depth, but that's kind of convoluted and really long. So I thought this quick 15-minute quick explanation, kind of bringing the level of it down, would kind of help. So you guys know the drill. Peace out, dudes, and be sure to follow my Substack for more information concerning my time canvassing with the state senator, Connecticut elections, and much, much more. Subscribe, like, follow. Peace out, dudes.